Hi, I'm Judi Wright with the Judi Wright team, and today I have Beth Puterbaugh, the owner of Divine Staging and Redesign with me, and we're going to talk a little bit about staging. And for me as a realtor, whenever I have a client getting ready to sell a home, I always bring Beth through. She's my trusted stager. She does a phenomenal job, but I bring them through because I fully believe that staging makes a huge difference in preparing the home. And so I brought Beth here today to talk. We're just going to talk about the things we do when we stage a home. And I know when somebody's getting ready to, well, first of all, thank you, Beth. Thank you for coming and doing this. We really appreciate it. When somebody's getting ready to sell their home, what are kind of the most important things to do?
Well, a few of the most important things to do is to enlist the help of a stager to get your home.
A professional stager.
A professional stager.
Not your best friend, right?
To get your home ready for pictures.
Camera ready.
Camera ready. 95% of buyers now look online first for their homes.
I would think that 100% do.
Yeah,
but yeah,
especially
that's awesome. Yeah,
in today's market. But it is very important to have your house looking the best it possibly can, and having professional photos. And in order to do that is to get it staged, and then the buyers will show up.
Well, I know that when we go into homes and people have a lot of little things everywhere, I always tell them, hey, we're coming in, we're not going to redecorate, but we're going to stage, and we're staging for the camera's eye, because the camera, I think, looks at a room differently than we do. When you walk in, and if you have like a bunch of different things on a wall, that's what the camera sees versus the beautiful room and the size of it.
Right.
So what are the things you recommend after you come in? Is it decluttering? I mean, what do you usually have someone do?
Definitely decluttering. Less is always more when you're staging a home. Even when I stage a vacant home, my rule of thumb is less is more. You don't want too many objects in a room to take away from the architecture of the house and what the house actually looks like.
Right, because they're buying the house, not the things.
Right, when people are viewing a home online, you want them to see the home, not the things in the home. You want the things to complement the home, not take over the home. So that's one of the main things, is decluttering. Another thing is depersonalizing.
Yes.
You want to remove any personal photos of your family, any collections that you have. Some people have tremendous collections of certain items, also a lot of art. And it's great because it's your home, that's what you want in your home. But when you're selling a home, you want the buyers to be able to envision it as their home, not your home.
So you're kind of, when you go in, you're making recommendations to appeal to the masses. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I've seen the differences in my clients' homes that you've done, and I know sometimes we go in and we'll have a property that maybe is owned by older individuals and has a lot of older furnishings, and I've had you come in and do some wonderful things in making it look more current without having to remove all the furnishings.
Right.
Is that something that you're called upon to do often?
Yes, I definitely can do occupied stagings. That's working with what the homeowner has currently, and usually it's eliminating certain pieces. It's also just streamlining it. Like I said before, less is more. The more that you can see of the actual home is what buyers are looking for, not the actual furnishings.
Right. Awesome. Well, what are some of the misconceptions that you hear that people think about staging? Like when I talk to them and say, hey, I'm going to send my stager through, because everybody has an idea in their head what that is.
Well, the number one misconception that I know of is staging is too expensive. Staging is not too expensive. You got to think of it in a different way. When you think of staging as an investment and a return on investment on what you're going to get, then it is not too expensive at all. In fact, when you stage a home and it sells within the first 30 days or sooner, sometimes the first day on the market, then that is a huge savings. There's no carrying costs of the house that you're trying to sell.
Sure, and it's definitely less expensive than your first price reduction 30 days down the road,
Absolutely.
Right? That price reduction, you're never going to do anything less than probably a $5,000 price reduction. And staging is way more affordable than that. So.
In fact, a realtor contacted me yesterday asking me to stage a home that they had virtually staged. And virtual staging, if you're not familiar with that, is photoshopping furniture into a home.
Yes.
And actually the photos look great, but when the homeowners show up, to the house, or the home buyers show up to the house, they will see an empty house and it's not what they saw online, so it's a big disparity, and
it's a disappointment.
Yeah,
Right,
it's a big
to them
disappointment.
it doesn't look as good as they expected it to look.
Right. So that's a downslide. So anyway, they've already lowered the price of the house, and now they're looking to spend on staging. So when you don't stage from the very beginning, then
It costs you.
It costs.
You may take a price reduction and have to come back and do it anyway.
Right.
Well, I know that like for my clients, when they do, I say that if they do 90% of what you tell them to do, they're going to be golden, you know, and most of my clients do 100% of what you tell them to do, and I can always tell when they do because it's so sell ready. But I find that our house, you know, we're outperforming the market, and the house sells for more money and it sells faster. Is that something that you've heard from other realtors too, not just me, or you have numbers on?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the last several homes that I've staged recently have sold within the first 16 hours to the first day, and didn't last over a week. So it is definitely a hot market. First impressions are everything. So the rule of thumb is to stage it from the very beginning. Don't wait and stage it later if it doesn't sell, because then you've spent time and money. If you stage it first, get professional photos, get it online, it's going to look great, and the buyers are going to show up, and you're going to sell it very, very quickly.
Well, and for anybody watching this, I know that I have great examples of staged properties on my website. We'll also add Beth's website to this video. You probably have some, maybe you have before and afters, I don't know. I think it makes a huge difference. Things sell so much faster, and I think that there are many stagers out there. I'll say this, I've worked with many in my career, 18 years in real estate. Beth is phenomenal. She's a very soft-hearted, soft touch when you come in, and you've found ways to make homes look so wonderful with clients who were so against it. And then there have been so many of my clients when they moved to their new homes that have called you, haven't they, to come do things afterwards. That's also a service that Beth can do, because they're so against the staging up front when they're selling their home, and she comes in and she turns it into this wonderful view. They're like, oh my God, why didn't I move the furniture that way? I've been living here 13 years. I could have it like that. And then they move to their new house and they're like, I'm calling Beth to tell me where to put stuff.
I hear that a lot. Why did I not have my furniture look like this the whole time I've lived here? Can you come to my new house? Can you make it look great? And absolutely, that's a service I provide.
Awesome. Any last minute advice, stories, anything you want to add?
Well, one thing that I think is really important for staging is cleaning.
Deep cleaning,
Deep
right?
cleaning.
Yes.
Having a clean home for buyers is super, super important. And I'm not talking about normal cleaning that you would normally do every other week. We're talking about cleaning things that go untouched for years, such as the lights on the outside of your home.
Yes, with spider webs in them.
Yes. Also, ceiling fans. Light fixtures inside the home, as well as baseboards, just anything that you don't normally clean. Buyers will look, and a dirty house is not what they want to see.
Well, I know sometimes when we're on second story homes, we're up on the second floor, we're walking, we look out over there and there's like a toy up on the landing and there's dust this thick or whatever, and people are like, ugh. So yeah, it's very important to have a clean home, and not just a clean home, an extremely clean home.
Extremely clean home.
Yes.
And another item I wanted to mention is some people believe that they understand the principles of staging and they can probably handle it themselves. And I would suggest to hire a professional stager, because doing it yourself you can't usually be as objective as you need to be. When you're decluttering your home, it's your things, you love your things, you can't be as objective and realize what things need to be removed from the home.
Absolutely. Well, I've had clients who have a sister or a sister-in-law who's a decorator, and they want to have her come in and do it. And decorating and staging are two different things. The way you decorate a home is not what you're not going to do. It's usually too cluttered. You would decrease what a decorator puts in.
Or it's very taste specific.
Yes, exactly. So they're not objective enough. So hire a professional, whoever that is, and deep cleaning. And that includes the windows, the patios, the outdoor lights.
Everything.
Ceiling fans, everything.
In fact, windows inside and out, and if you remove the screens, a lot of people in Texas have solar screens. When the windows are cleaned, you can remove those screens, place them in the garage, and it brings even more light into your home.
Yes.
Everyone wants to see a light and bright home.
Yes, light, bright, and clean.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Beth. We appreciate
Thank you,
your
Judy.
coming.